Hello guys, Jimmy Broadbent here. Hello guys, AR12 Gaming here. My name is Craptastic Black. And today, it's like I don't even know what day, like day 45,000 of the quarantine sessions. Hey, you all know about the quarantine sessions. And today we're going to talk about the current state of racing games. I basically make these videos once a year when there's absolutely no games to play. And we talk about the future. Scary time, the future. You don't know what it holds. Hopefully no more Modelo Massacre. That's what I'm hoping. But beyond that, we also have racing games to play. It's 2020 YTG. YOTG? I mean, it could be both, to be fair. Forza Horizon 4, The Crew 2, Night Runners, Need for Speed. There's a lot of games to talk about, as well as some other ones that I didn't just mention. Before I go any further, please subscribe to my channel. I need you to subscribe to my channel and my Patreon. I need the money so I can buy drugs. Now, seriously though, if you enjoy what you see and you like the content you're watching, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Twitch is also down in the description. I'm streaming most weekdays, so if you're quarantining and you're bored, come hit your boy up.
Forza Horizon 4.
My gourmet of the generation, still getting updates strong. This game has no signs of being, you know, dropped over the course of the next year. If anyone has been following Forza Horizon, they will know that over 100 cars leaked in-game files. You know, I'll link the video that I made about that video in the description, as well as anything else that I talk about. It will all be down there or in a card up top. I think out of all the games on this list, you know, this is probably the one that I'm most excited for its future. With Battle Royale, you know, only coming a few months ago, Lord knows what they've got planned up their sleeve as regarding new modes coming forward, and obviously the new cars that we were all expecting. An expansion, you know, is that really that far-fetched with Forza Horizon 4? I don't think so. So definitely one to keep an eye on. It's most likely going to get an Xbox Series X upgrade as well into the next generation, so definitely one to keep an eye on. Forza Horizon 4, the future is looking bright. The Crew 2. There's not much to say about The Crew 2. It's not been touched in over a year by developers Ivory Tower, and now it's literally getting an update, I think like in 2 days time. The Jesco was announced as one of the cars coming, and there's also a lot of other cars that are coming. They have leaked online, but Ubisoft have a history of striking down channels that report their news, so I'm not reporting their news right now, but if you look on the internet, you might find some of the cars they're talking about. More stuff to come on that later on this week. Night Runners. If you haven't already checked out my Night Runners video, go do it. It's basically a Wangan style racing game in the spirit of Tokyo Extreme Racer. If you didn't play Tokyo Extreme Racer, you are living under a rock. It looks really cool. There's no release date that's been set, but the demo for the game is coming out in the year of the gamer 2020. At least that's what it says on their Twitter page. Pretty sure there's only one person making this game, so yeah, take as much time as you need. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be sick. Dangerous Driving, aka the Burnout spiritual successor. No gameplay for this one. There's literally nothing been announced. It was at PAX, but I didn't really see any gameplay floating around on the internet of it. Again, another one that I'm looking really forward to, another indie game, which there's a lot of on this list. It's actually weird. This is the first year that a lot of indie games are kind of taking precedent over the AAAs for me. But you know, the original creators of the original Burnout games, making racing games, there's not really much that can go wrong. I just hope they've spent enough time making this game because they did actually only spend, I think, a year or two, maybe a year on this successor. Incremental improvements. Hopefully it's a steady progression from the last one with a bit more replay value. It's going to have an open world similar to Hotshot 2010. So the events will be scattered around the map and then you can free roam if you want, sort of thing. So going to be an interesting one, and I will keep my eyes peeled for this game. It sounds very interesting. But this next one has a really close place in my heart. So when I was a little kid, I had a PC, didn't have a PS2. I was playing games like Underground 2, Hopshoot 2, Spider-Man, Sonic Heroes. But as well as that, I was playing one game that wasn't, you know, a AAA game or anything. I think my cousin bought it from Woolworths. Shout out to anyone in the UK that knows what Woolworths is. And that game was the OG TrackMania. Ever since then, I've always kind of kept my eye on it. You know, if I've ever seen it on Steam or whatever, I've bought it, given it a go. And there's actually a brand new TrackMania game coming this May, and it's going to be a remake of TrackMania Stadium, aka Nations. I don't know if many people play TrackMania, you've definitely seen memes of it online of people driving absolutely crazy because it's absolutely everywhere. And I'm going to talk more about this as we know more about this. And honestly, if any TrackMania guys are out there, please hit me up. I really want to get involved with this. It looks sick. I think this is probably my most anticipated racing game of 2020. That's a big thing to say, I know. I'm more excited for this than Night Runners. I'm more excited for this than the Burnout spiritual successor. As well as that, it's going to be a TrackMania game with live service. If you've never played a TrackMania game in your life, go on Steam. Nations Forever is actually free on the Steam right now, and you can run it on a potato. So if you've got a potato, chop it. You get me. Gran Turismo. So we don't really know what's happening with the next gen platforms. GT7 is probably quite a ways off, but GT Sport is still getting updates, and I do plan on eventually getting back into the game. They recently had a patch sorting out some of the penalty problems, which were really, really huge in the game, plagued the game for a while. Some of my launch videos, I remember, I just raged the game because the penalty system was just so bad. A lot of good changes that are coming on that front. Hopefully, GT7 will be coming sooner rather than later, and I can get my itch of a classic Gran Turismo experience. Hotshots Racing. So, is this actually even coming out this year? I don't even know if it's coming out this year, you know? Spring 2020. A super arcade racing game. Big drifts, you know, pursuit mode, combos, you know, non-licensed cars. That is what we're talking about. There's not enough of these games that launch in 2020 year of the game, so I'm excited for this to see what it's like. 60 FPS single player. I'm looking at some of the gameplay right now. It looks absolutely insane. A bunch of YouTubers covered the actual game early, like I think about a month ago. So what I'll do is I'll link a bunch of gameplay videos down in the description. It's definitely one to keep your eyes on. Like I said, a lot of indie games that are in this list that I'm actually looking forward to, quite oddly enough. But there's one game that isn't an indie game, which I'm not looking forward to, and I'm actually a little bit worried for, and that would be Need for Speed Heat. Saved it for last to keep the retention up, all about that motherfucking money. Oh my days, Need for Speed Heat, where do we begin? There's a reason why the biggest content creator who makes Need for Speed videos is now covering the game, you know, and modding the game. There's a reason why I've only uploaded like one Need for Speed Heat video a week nowadays. I'm not going to call it dead yet because there's still DLC to come. I truly believe once the DLC finishes and the support finishes on that front, that'll be the end of it, really. Unless they do add, you know, some pretty groundbreaking stuff to fix problems which are in the game. I'm pretty sure Need for Speed Heat is dead, and I think we should be looking towards Need for Speed 2021. For me, with Need for Speed, my trust has been broken as a fan. It's been so long now since we've had a good one, and I said this before launch, you know, everyone said, oh, is Need for Speed going to die? Is Need for Speed going to die if Need for Speed Heat is bad? Need for Speed's never going to die as a series. It's too big of a name to die. It's like FIFA, you know, one of the biggest grossing gaming franchises ever. It's bigger than Fortnite if you think about the amount of money it's made since its inception in the 90s. I don't think Need for Speed's going to die, but I think the problem they now face is not so much, you know, worrying about sales, all that kind of stuff. The trust of the fan base is gone, and I think that's more important than sales. Like, I think at this point now, the fan base doesn't trust the Need for Speed name anymore. I think it's got to the point now, especially after Ghost's tenure, where I think everyone's just sick of it. So what Criterion are going to do, who knows, for 2021. There's probably going to be DLCs for Need for Speed Heat, but other than that, I don't really have anything to say. In my opinion, I believe EA, Need for Speed, Ghost, Criterion, less so Criterion because I haven't actually done anything yet. Everything I said previous, I think they've lost the trust of the Need for Speed community. And I think everyone going into the next game is going to be hugely skeptical, and I have no, you know, I can't fault anyone for feeling that way. You should feel that way, and that's how I feel, and that's how I feel. Going into the next game, I'm not going to be sitting here, you know, being cautiously optimistic. I'm going to be going in, being skeptical, looking at it, really, really deep diving it, and they haven't got, you know, the benefit of the doubt this time, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, next Need for Speed update, you know, hopefully it comes sooner rather than later, but, you know, after the DLC cars come and go, it will be Need for Speed 2021 with Criterion, and don't worry, there is going to be plenty of videos about that in the future. So that's been it for me today. Let me know what game you're most excited to in this list that I talked about today. Yeah, TrackMania for me, it has to be. I'm very excited for that game to come out. But that's been me. It's 2020. I will see you guys in the next one. You guys have been awesome. Stay safe and wash your hands.